Good evening, and welcome to Election Night 2022. Although there'll be races taking place across the country to determine the fate of the United States House and United States Senate, as well as many governorships, we'll be focusing on the Granite State, aka the state of New Hampshire, between Donald Bolduc, the Republican nominee, and Maggie Hassan, the Democratic nominee, who will be battling out for a seat in the United States Senate. Looking at the polling averages between Don Bolduc and Maggie Hassan, we can see that Maggie Hassan has maintained a solid lead over Don Bolduc since the primaries, when Don Bolduc took a lead in a couple polls. But since then, Maggie Hassan has maintained a solid lead, although the race has narrowed recently as we have gotten closer to election night. First, we have to look at Dixville Notch, the notorious town in northern New Hampshire that votes at midnight. Back in 2020, all 5 citizens of this small town voted for Maggie Hassan. Not for Maggie Hassan, Joe Biden, excuse me. Meanwhile, in 2022, in the terms of the Senate race, it appears that Maggie Hassan will receive 4 votes, while Don Bolduc will receive 1 vote. This is not a good sign for the Republican campaign, as this town is notorious for kind of determining how the rest of the nation will vote. We have results now pouring in the state of New Hampshire, although Maggie Hassan is a solid lead, we do expect it to narrow, as much of the vote is coming from urban and suburban areas in the southern part of the state. Currently, Maggie Hassan leads by about 19 points, and there's about 6,000 vote difference between Hassan and Bolduc. Looking at the governorship races, we can now project that Chris Sununu, incumbent governor of New Hampshire, will be reelected, as he will defeat the Democratic nominee very handily. As you can see, every county that is reporting so far is pretty much Republican. Sununu leads by 12,000 votes, and he is doing very well in traditionally Democratic areas. He has a very high approval rating, and polls have shown that this race isn't even close. So because of all those factors, we can project that Chris Sununu will be reelected governor of the state of New Hampshire. No surprises, no surprise there, really. We're going to take a look back at the Senate race, where the race has began to narrow. We now are receiving votes from other parts of the state, and the parts that are, even though a lot of the state it does say Democratic, a lot of these areas are swing areas, and there's a lot of votes for Don Bolduc coming from those areas. But Maggie Hassan does maintain a narrow lead in much of the areas reporting. We now have results from across the entire state, and in Rockingham and Sullivan counties, specifically Sullivan County. We're going to take a look there. Sullivan County in the western part of the state, the one Republican county in the western part of the state. There's only a little bit of the vote out of there, so although the race Maggie Hassan does maintain a 3-point lead, there's still plenty of Republican votes out there. And Rockingham County is interesting to note, as it is currently Don Bolduc is currently leading in Rockingham County, something that we did not necessarily expect, but nonetheless is very interesting to note. Maggie Hassan maintains a 3-point lead and leads by about 10,000 votes. There is still a lot of the vote left to be counted, but a lot of this vote comes from a lot of Republican areas and a lot of more Democratic leaning areas. New Hampshire is just such a tough state to predict and to analyze. So this race is really still up for grabs. We're now taking a look at Coos County. This is the northernmost county in the state of New Hampshire, where Don Bolduc maintains about an 11-point lead and leads by about 1,000 votes. This is the only county in the state of New Hampshire that went to Donald Trump in the 2020 election, and it's a traditionally more Republican-leaning county. And while it is very rural and it does not have many votes left to be counted in it, there's really only like 4,000 or 5,000 votes left to be counted in this county. It's a very close race. There's only a few thousand votes separating them. So the fact that there are a guaranteed couple thousand Republican votes outstanding could possibly show that Don Bolduc could be in a very good position as more results continue to come in terms of winning this election. Now, looking at with 84% of the vote in, much of Coos County reporting, the race has narrowed to just 3,361 votes. This race is very narrow. There are not a lot of votes left to be counted, and much of it comes from the more urban and suburban areas in the southern part of the state. And because of that, despite the race being very narrow, because most of the outstanding vote is coming from more Democratic areas, we can project that Maggie Hassan will be re-elected to the United States Senate and defeat Don Bolduc by a very narrow margin. The final results have come in, and they show that Maggie Hassan, this is with 100% of the vote in, Maggie Hassan has won re-election by just 3,967 votes. She only defeated, in terms of the percentage points, she only won by about 0.55. Excuse me, 0.55%, 3,000, almost 4,000 votes. And Don Bolduc outperformed many people's expectations, but as considering the fact that many considered him to be this far-right candidate who could never win in a suburban state like New Hampshire, but he certainly outperformed all expectations and made this race much closer than any pollsters had it being. Looking at the governorship, meanwhile, no surprises there. Chris Sununu easily wins re-election, winning every county and receiving 67.21% of the vote and winning by over 272,000 votes. So with that, thank you for watching this quick election night on the state of New Hampshire. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to like and subscribe for more.